So section 3 for chapter 13, we did home insurance, and now since we finished the transportation chapter, different vehicles you can obtain and use, whether it's public or private transportation. Now we're going to be discussing vehicle insurance for your car. There are two main motor vehicle insurance coverages. There are two types. There are bodily injury coverages, which is for physical injuries, and then property damage coverage, which is for the actual vehicle and also other things. Bodily injury coverages. So, what it covers is one, bodily injury liability. What that means is if it's you get into a car accident and it's your fault, where you injure pedestrians or they were killed, or if you injure people in your vehicle or people in the other vehicle. So anytime you see the word liability, that means it's your fault, not good. So bodily injury coverages liability. It also covers medical payments, which medical expenses are covered for anyone injured in your vehicle. And this is also for you, in which your medical payments are covered if you were injured. This is also for you or your family when riding in another person's car, or if you're hit by another car, your medical payments are covered. And thirdly, uninsured motorist protection. This is insurance, I should say, that covers you and your family members if you're involved in an accident with an uninsured motorist or if it's a hit and run. Okay? Everyone is required to have car insurance. Not everyone does. So this protects you in the circumstance in which you get into an accident and the person doesn't have insurance. So that's for bodily injury coverages and the types of insurance. Now, for property damage coverages, we have property damage liability. Keyword here is liability. So in this instance, we know it's our fault. And with property damage liability, it's insurance that applies when you damage the property of others, their car, and it also protects when driving another person's car with their permission. So whether you're in your car or a friend's car that they allowed you to take out for a little bit, it protects you if it's ever your fault. And remember, property damage, this is to fix the actual property. Collision coverage, no matter who is at fault, it covers damages to your vehicle. Doesn't matter who hit who, okay? This covers damages to your vehicle. And comprehensive is where it's a non-accident. So if a tree fell on your car, if your car was flooded, vandalism, if it was in a fire, okay, this comprehensive coverage would cover your car and to repair and fix your car. Collision, as noted above, is insurance that covers damages when your vehicle is involved in an accident, and that doesn't matter who is at fault. So we talked about the main coverages: bodily injury and property. Liability coverage, remember, here it's the two types. Liability, it's your fault. We have our bodily injury liability and property damage liability. And as you see below, liability coverage is expressed in three numbers. And these numbers represent, I should say, the amount of money in coverage. So the first number, you see the 100 there, and this is in thousands of dollars. This is the maximum amount that will be paid for injuries of any one person. So for each person, gets up to $100,000 limit for any one person. Now the second number, the 300, indicates $300,000. That's the maximum amount that will be paid for all injured parties. Okay, so the $100,000 is the maximum amount for injuries for any one person. $300,000 is the maximum amount for all injuries, and the 50, representing 50,000, that's the limit of payment for damage to the property of others. How much? That's the limit that will go to fixing the property of others. NoFault Insurance, okay, And some states operate under a no-fault system where it doesn't matter who caused the accident. Where if I got in an accident with you and I had no fault insurance, my insurance would cover my damages, your insurance would cover your damages. That's only if your state is under a no fault system. However, New Jersey is not, but it's good to know the different types of insurance states out there. But New Jersey right now is not a no fault state. And lastly, just the overall motor vehicle insurance costs. Usually, the more coverage you have, it's more expensive. And the factors that affect your premiums, remember premiums being how much you pay per month, the vehicle type, they look at the year, model, make, that affects how much you pay in car insurance, regular territory, where you live. Remember, more risk means you're going to be paying more. So if you're in a city in our area where there's a lot of cars, you're probably going to have to pay higher insurance. And also driver classification. So that's your age, sex, your driving record. A poor driving record and you're more of a risk to the insurance company, guess what? You're going to be paying more. If you can't get coverage, and this is a situation where if you had too many claims, your insurance could remove you from their policy. And if no insurance is willing to pick you back up and you can't get car insurance, you get put in what's called an assigned risk pool. And that's a pool of group of people who can't get car insurance, and they're assigned to each insurance company operating in the state. This is a negative, however, because the rate that you'll be paying if you're in this assigned risk pool is several times the normal rate. So you want to not have many claims and not be dropped from your insurance policy. That's where your insurance determines that you're just too much of a risk to maintain. And lastly, with everything, compare companies, and you want to qualify for discounts to save money. Compare the different insurance costs because insurance is a high cost, especially car insurance. So that is the end of chapter 13.